Now, it's God's favor from full, full to fullness of His grace. We have all received one blessings another. John 1:16. Yes, yes. I believe. Hopefully, was I sharing that? Yeah. Stream StreamYard is kind of weird sometimes. So is this puppy right here? Yeah. Well, that's fine. So today we're gonna go on to something that I don't know. It's a little bit of a. It might be a bit of a pet peeve for some people, but it can also be something really important. And what do I mean by important and how? Well, we're here. Today is going to be something different. We need to kind of basically, how should I say, get to the bottom of some things. I guess we don't need to, but it would be interesting to look into it, especially with a lot of information decades after coming out of the woodwork. Because yeah, and just if you do have if you do uh if you actually do have a story uh regarding Gordon Sumner, um there I said his full name, his whole legal name. uh let me uh let us know, and we'll actually have you on. You, or if anything, we'll let you have the floor. Uh, just waiting for Celeste. So I guess I'm not the most polished on the story. So there should be so we're gonna have our beautiful co-host. She has a bit of a story here. She'll give us her story on what happened, and we'll dig in a little bit more as well to this to kind of start off, kick off the month, kick off the week. Sure. Come on in. Come on in. Yeah. Just as I said that, that's exactly what happened.
What did I miss? Anything good?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. How
So,
are you?
hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. Man, you're looking fine, girl.
Oh, you're too kind. Well, it
No,
helps. I took a shower. Yay. It's getting easier now that my leg is improving, but I think I have to wait another week or two.
that's
Hopefully
not
it
too
won't be.
bad.
Yeah, so yeah, I think I'll be better. I mean, I'm starting to stand on it okay, but
Mhm.
I mean, not. I still need something to anchor to be on it, but so it's not 100%, but it is getting better, so that's good. Yay! So how are
So
you?
I'm doing fine, but you told me a story, yeah, quite recently, as by this as the title of this uh video or this stream. Yeah, this I well, yeah, this video. I kind of want to dig a little deeper about it.
Oh, was it the Jordan, real Jordan Clark's or official Jordan Clark's video,
Look,
or which one?
no, 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 no. Look at the title of what we got.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I didn't see it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, no. This is your specialty. Let's just say.
Oh, is it about GSwindle?
Yeah,
Oh my god. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. We did talk about, yeah. You know, I don't know that it's an important subject for everybody in the world. I know it's important to me, and I really thank you and I appreciate you for giving me a platform to talk about it, because I know that that in and of itself, even though a person doesn't have closure on a certain issue, that just having a platform to talk about it, to air it out, it can be very healing for people. So I appreciate it.
and and disclaimer here. Well, not a disclaimer, but if
Even if nothing is done about it, I don't.
if this is flagged, we know who fucking did it
Yeah,
or reported.
yeah,
So,
mhm,
and by the looks and sounds of it, you're not the only one
right.
that
You know,
experienced this.
yeah, again, it's alleged. I can't really, there's things that we can prove. Most of it, I can't say it's definitively him, but it's just, I think what, I don't know, where should I start when it comes to this story, how it started, or
You have the floor.
okay. I hope
Oops.
people have time. Well, hi. I'm well, I go by Celeste. Celeste is actually my middle name, but my first name, most people call me Jen or Jenny, but
Yeah,
and I just, because it's a public forum, I just prefer to go with something that's a little bit more common, and not, cuz my true name is pretty rare and easy to figure out and easy to find. So it's probably good I leave it out, but
it's all good. Just it's okay. Just
okay.
what
So,
just what do you have to say for the matter?
all right. Well, um let's see. I don't want to make this too long and lengthy and tedious.
No, I mean, like, even if it is, it's kind of fun, and I can throw in some commentary in
Okay.
in
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Feel free.
so don't worry. But you have the floor.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And for anyone who, and let me tell you this, this is I just want to just make a proclaim disclaimer here. I don't know, not proclaimer, disclaimer, an announcement. Let's just say, if you have any stories, whether if it's a weird situation like this or something else, like an epiphany or a spiritual awakening or anything like that, it just, or even if it was like, if it even if it was like hell, it doesn't need to be all sunshines and rainbows and stuff like that. But you could just, like, if you have a story to tell, and you don't feel like like a then go on ahead. But especially if you're from these one of the Gordon victims, hell yeah, we'd love to have you on here. Spill the beans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a victim of
Oh
anybody.
yeah, it doesn't have to be him specifically. And hopefully it's not that detrimental and egregious, but okay, so let's see. It all started, okay, I remember in 2015, I think it was the beginning of the year. Um I I prior I opened up a Twitter account. I think it was February 2018, and but prior to that, I had taken a break from social media for, I think, a couple of years because I was kind of addicted to it because I was on Facebook too much, and I knew that it was not healthy for me because I didn't like the impact it had on me, so I knew I needed a break.
Was this before or
Yeah, this
sometime,
was before. Yeah.
no, but before the pandemic, or when? Because
Oh yeah, it was before the pandemic. This was like
the pandemic.
yeah. um
Hey, it's been shown out that it was plotted, but continue.
Definitely. No, no worries. Um anyway, yeah. So I was kind of curious about Twitter because Trump was the president at the time. He was 45, and I just kept hearing all this stuff about his tweets all the time, and I was like, wow, okay, you know, I wanted to get a Twitter account just to, check out his tweets, and also um I was very intrigued by Elon Musk. I kind of had a celebrity crush on him of all people, which is kind of funny now looking back on that. But I was kind of stalking his page. But I mean, nothing, nothing happened with that, but I kind of got obsessed with him for some reason, and and his relationship with Amber Heard. So that was another motivating factor. But also I was suffering a broken heart from uh a guy that, there's someone who broke my heart pretty bad, and I was really down in the dumps, and I was very, very heartbroken from that, and it made me crazy, and I just felt like I needed some kind of outlet from that because I know how I can get, when I I can go overboard. Let's just put it that way, where it's not always a good thing. So I think it was just my way of kind of um, creating a distraction for myself. But anyway, so I opened up a Twitter, and all is well. And of course, I'm posting, um, nice pictures of myself that I'd taken like a year or two before. And I was proud of those pictures. Some of them were professionally done, others were just normal selfies that I had taken within the last few years. But I got a lot of, I started getting attention on it, and it made me feel good, and my self-esteem was kind of, increasing, and, to get that kind of attention that I didn't really expect to get. And lo and behold, uh, I know that one of the accounts I followed was Sting's official page when he used to be on Twitter. He took it off of X incidentally, but I, and okay, the thing with Sting is that I grew up loving him. I mean, I wouldn't say that I did have a crush, but it was more like an innocent crush, but I knew he was a happily married man, and I really admired him and Trudy's relationship very much. In fact, I used to look up to them as, something that I wanted to emulate and hope to have one day had for myself as a teenager, and even in my early adulthood, but I just really looked up to them. I really admired them, and I really, especially with a lot of Hollywood couples that fall in and out within a year or two, and I just really appreciated that, that they had this beautiful soulmate kind of love that stood the test of time. And even with her no longer being the young hot thing, like he didn't replace her for that, like he was really dedicated and into her, and I just thought that was beautiful. So I just really admired them, and it was nothing weird. It was just like, wow, that's so awesome. And anyways, I left a few heartfelt comments on a few of his posts, and lo and behold, I noticed there was a private Sting, that it was privatized. In fact, it was a private page, but I noticed that it started following me, and I didn't really know what to make of it. I just, I was intrigued, and when I clicked on it to view it, it was a privatized page, but I noticed it had his website connected on it. So it just seemed very normal, very legitimate, and I even showed people around me and other family members and stuff, and these people around me are very skeptical people. Like, if they thought something was fake, they would say so right away, and they examined it and they're like, "No, I think it's really him." And I was excited. I was like, "Oh my god," I was just on top of the world just to have anyone like that, of that caliber, just even take notice of me at all. Like, even a hello or a like would have been like, "Oh my god," like I would have felt like I mean, that would have put me on cloud 9, just something as simple as that. So I just thought, I just kept, I never contacted him because I didn't want to chase him away. So I just left it alone, but I was always kind of checking if he was still there, um, and I don't know. I think it was a month or two later that I actually got contacted on on DM or private messaging, that he was just very nonchalant, just politely introduced himself, was a total gentleman, and I was just flabbergasted. I was just like, "Oh my god." And I didn't tell a lot of people. I just told a couple people about it, and they thought that it was legitimately him too. And I was just, I mean, it was like I couldn't I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe this was happening to me, of all people. Like, I never would have dreamed in a million gazillion years that, someone like that would ever give me the time of day. Um, so, I interacted and it seemed normal. And then I think, yeah, one thing led, like, I remember there was a time, oh, yeah, um, within this period, I got glitched out of my account, like it, and and then when I got back on, I guess it was still him, quote unquote, but it was a different page of his. It was like another fan page, but he still identified as him, and we exchanged texting. We text numbers. We didn't talk on the phone, but we did text, and it just seemed like it could have been him, that his English was really good. He was very classy. He was very, like, flirty, very romantic, and he just said a lot of things that I would probably expected someone like Sting to say, and so I just didn't really think anything of it. But I remember he did ask um about donating money to a charity, and I was kind of like, well, and he recommended a certain amount, and I was like, oh, well, is there a link or anything? Like, I was asking for like some kind of link or reference, and this person said to wire the money, to someplace, and I knew then and there that it was bullshit, and so I blocked his number, I blocked it, and I tried to get a hold of the official page on Twitter to warn him and say, hey, there's someone pretending to be you, it's sus, and all this stuff. And I contacted the other account that I was originally in touch with, and then he made a proposition. I started interacting with him, and he made a proposition to meet him. Yeah, it was an opportunity to meet him privately, and I thought, wow, what a dream come true. I mean, I think in my mind I knew, that it was too good to be true. But he swore up and down, and but the weird thing is there was a catch to it. I was expected to pay some money for it, and I remember thinking that's weird. Like, why would somebody that is genuinely interested in me ask me to do this? Like, that seems weird. I mean, why can't he just meet me when he comes out here and plays at a concert? Like, you know it didn't really make sense to me. And I did, I think one of the things that he said was that he has to worry about press and this and that. And I guess at the time, I and I feel so stupid. Like, I should have known better, but I think that I was so starstruck and so head over heels and so, like, in this fog that I just couldn't see things clearly. So I agreed to do it. So I went ahead with it, but then one thing led to another, and of course, I didn't get what I paid for. I'll just put it that way. Which was it was basically like a VIP kind of pass or something. And then another lady from online contacted me and was telling me how he scams people and abuses them, and she started telling me her story, and I was just so heartbroken. I was shattered beyond belief. Um and she swore up and down that it was him, Gordon. I'll just say his name. And I I at first I was like, no, no, I guess there are scammers, and it's probably just some scammer, like, do you really think someone of his caliber, someone like him, would actually do something like this? I mean, it just seems so weird. I mean, I know I fell for something, and I felt like the biggest idiot ever to do that, but um but I just said, okay, well, let's just report it to Cherry Tree Company, because that's, his record company. So, I submitted stuff to Cherry Tree, and they said that they'll look at it. And, they never, I don't know that they did anything about it. But I tried alerting him on his blue check page, and there was no response. Even his wife, in fact, I think her name was Ada. She actually she actually told her story in a comment section to his wife Trudy Styler on her blue check account about it, and she said that Trudy Styler blocked her when she told her this story. And I can only guess one or two things. Either she just thought she was a crazy woman online and didn't want to deal with her, or she's guilty of something. Um, and obviously, if I'm leaving anything out, feel free to interject. That's totally fine.
I
But
I
um,
mean, I mean, I'm just no. What you're saying is absolutely awesome. But I will say, the fact that it was this seems like it was, how should I say this? I can understand if it was just you, then people might be raising an eyebrow and just doubting something like that. But or possibly could have given you the benefit of the doubt. But the fact that there are multiple women, especially when you started voicing this, it kind of it does kind of raise an eyebrow, saying, okay, not towards you, but towards the situation, but towards them. It's like, okay, I understand one or two, it's okay, but then there are these
mhm.
other women who are not the victims of the same exact thing, but
But they have
similar.
their own
They have
weird
the
story.
they
Yeah,
have they have their own version of the same thing. They have their
sure,
own.
sure.
uh it's the same story, but just different plot,
Yeah, yeah.
or different
Yeah.
characters in situations.
So Ada, went out on a limb, and she
Hmm.
discovered lots of things, and she connected with me with some lady in I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name, but I'll just say her first name starts with an M. It's Marie. I'll just say her name is Marie. And she is French Canadian. She said she was a musician like I, um, and that she knew him from the 80s. That she I guess she played in.
Where was this? Where yeah, where what where did this interaction take place?
Oh, it was through texting, through yeah, texting, email, just like through social media. But she swore, like, she was actually quite obsessed with him, but apparently she knew him, and she had all kinds of stories about him. And, she was saying how he's a womanizer, and how he asked her to have sex with him like 5 different times. And, um, but I guess she never did. Like, she said they made out, like they did kiss, but they never actually. you know,
He,
yeah,
yeah,
but
he never let her in.
she
Or
never let him in. Yeah.
that's what I meant to say. She never let him in.
Yeah. And I guess she's a musician, and supposedly she knew a lot of famous people back in her day. I mean, she's older and retired now, but she had lots of stories, and she, you know, and again, this is all alleged, because I can't truly prove this
By the
stuff.
way, YouTube, go fuck yourself if for me accidentally misgendering somebody.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, she was, yeah, anyway, she told me, these different things about him, and also, she did confirm that she thinks he is a thief, or that he is known to take money from people, never pay him back. And
In other words, it sounds like this person actually did have some
history.
have quite a bit of a history,
Yeah.
and kind of understands how this motherfucker moves.
Yeah. So
Like
she
she's in, she's not in on it, but she knows his game.
mhm.
It
Yeah.
seems like.
Yeah, she was very matter of fact about it. At first, I got to admit, I went back and forth. There's times when I believed her, and there's times when I thought she was full of shit and just making stuff up. And there's times when I just didn't know what to think, because what do you do with that? You just, and you're talking to a random person that you never met in person. So you just don't know. I mean, it could be anybody.
No,
But
valid.
yeah. But anyways, I was desperate, I guess, because I was heartbroken, and I wanted answers, and I wanted clarity. And obviously I wasn't getting from any of the blue check accounts. Like, they wouldn't, they never, even though a lot of people, not only me, but a lot of other people were blowing the whistle, nothing was ever said or done about it. And I just find that weird, because of something is so rampant. Like, um the one of the ladies actually ended up paying out like her whole life savings to this individual, and she's an elderly woman. I guess she really thought she was helping him at the time. And but I guess her story happened even before mine. So it must have been around 2016 for her, around 2015, 2016, I'm guessing. Um,
Wow, looks like we know who Zelensky stole his playbook from.
exactly. I know, huh? Right.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, anyways, like, Marie, I mean, she swears, she said that she's even been to their estate, that she's been on their property, and she knew Trudy, or knows Trudy. Like, she claimed a lot of things. And I mean, I hope she wouldn't just make that up. I have no idea, to be honest, but she seemed pretty matter of fact about it. As hard as that is to believe. But um but yeah, she was saying, I guess, she says she knows a lady that Sting had an affair with, that he borrowed $1 million from her, and he was supposed to pay her back because it was a loan, and he never did pay her back. And again, I can't, these are alleged stories. I can't confirm them, so I don't want to say this is definitive, but
So
these are
this
things
is
that are told.
understand. This is alleged. This is word of mouth. These are
Right,
people saying that this happened.
right.
Did Are we absolutely sure that this did? No, but let's just say we're
There's people that said it did,
but the
and
thing
where
is that I can understand if it's one or two people, okay, but if it's multiple people saying the same thing but a different version, it should raise an eyebrow, and I think it should be voiced.
mhm.
So so but continue.
So yeah. So anyways, she's telling me all kinds of bizarre stories about him and him having sex with some neighbor of hers, and like 5 times a day, and then he smokes a lot of pot and all this stuff, and supposedly he was driving, like, she remembers him driving some silver, I don't remember the make or model, but it's some fancy silver car,
A
and
Jag,
yeah, probably something like that,
Jag, Aston,
or Bentley, who knows, but
some kind of a high end
yeah, yeah.
British car,
Mm,
Rolls Royce.
yeah.
I don't think a Rolly is his type. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
he
so.
look he looks more like Aston Martin or Jag. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I could see that. I could see that with him. And so anyways, she's telling me all these stories, and he was
No,
acting like
no offense to Rollies. Rollies
no,
are
Rolls
awesome
Royce is
cars.
beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
Those
Just
are really good looking cars.
yeah. So
But continue. Sorry.
no, that's fine. It makes it more fun. uh,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to just rattle on, you're just like, ooh, what, uh,
Yeah.
kind of. So
No, but this is fun and this is interesting. At
mhm.
least to me it is.
Well, you've been on this journey with me too. Like, you've heard about a lot.
Oh, I have my own little story of this kind of situation. I and I will say this: after we watch a low video and stuff like that, and I'm also gonna post up if it. I mean, like I don't know. I might post up my experience of a fiasco that was very similar. Hilariously, that was his
Uh-huh.
wife. I was
Yeah,
about his wife,
yeah.
and I actually vlogged. I posted up a vlog about this. Um, when it was when it was kind of new,
Right,
a couple of years ago. But
right.
anyways, continue.
So anyways,
This is
okay.
juicy.
So um okay, so I remember that he was touring with Shaggy at the time, and they were doing a world tour, and I knew that he was going to be in San Francisco in um October. So I did buy tickets for two people. Originally, another friend of mine was going to go with me, but that didn't happen. Actually, that show was canceled, and incidentally, pretty much last minute. And I'll backtrack before that. Before that, I do want to make a note here that I did make a police report about it. Because I didn't know what else to do, and I thought, okay,
Oh,
well,
now this is when things get interesting. This is when this
yeah. So there's a police report,
here
and then
so
the
I just want to
concert.
so I want to say this because you've told me this off air before,
Hmm.
and I will say for the record, at the time, I was with you at that concert that you're about to mention, so I can attest to everything that she's saying. And I actually literally was there. Like,
That's right. That's absolutely.
so the thing is that, and I'll put myself up. I'll put my our beautiful faces up next to each other.
Nice to see your
Um,
face too.
yeah,
So anyways,
but
I think it was it August or September that I went to the police station, and I was embarrassed to do this. It's like,
mhm.
it's embarrassing to admit that you fell for some scam, and but I had my information on me. I had stuff in writing, and I had stuff on paper that I could prove. So, I told the officer what happened. He was a sheriff. He was actually very kind, very nice, and he looked at everything and he said, he said, "Hey, I've encountered many scams in my life. Like I mean, there's a lot of stuff." And he goes, "I've never encountered anything like this."
Because
And
what and why did he say that? What was that? Because it was like
well, he
it
he
seemed
said I
too
could have fallen.
real.
Well, yeah, because he said like, okay, because the money that I because the payment I did wire payment to M&T Bank, which is in New York City. And I happen to know that it was under a different name, which I thought was weird, but who knows? I guess that's where I a lot of stuff was going over my head, or I wanted to believe it or something. But it was under the by the name someone by the name of Angela, but I was told to go to that to wire, MNT Bank is a legitimate bank. And he did confirm that. He said, yeah, no, M&T Bank is a real bank. It's not like I'm shipping to my money to Nigeria or Romania or someplace like that. I mean, it's here in New York, and um, it's a real bank, on the East Coast. So,
So it
and I
was
know,
traceable. It was
yeah,
traceable for the police.
absolutely. So I gave him that
Okay.
info, and I submitted the messages, that and he did tell me himself. He goes, and I told him before I walked away, I told him, I know this was so foolish and I feel so embarrassed, and it's probably not him. I guess there's just a lot of scammers out there. And he told me, well, I would recommend you, putting your stuff, your profile on private, maybe, so that people don't see who you follow and stuff. But the other thing he said was that I could have believed that. And when I also said, I don't know if he himself would actually do anything like this, but it's just something I fell for and it was dumb. He looked at me and he said, as far as you know. He actually said that to me. The officer said that to me, as far as you know. And I was kind of
Yeah.
shocked to hear that. I was like, whoa. Are like, and maybe he was just being nice, and he just had good bedside manner. I don't know,
No, I mean, but well, how did he
but
say it?
he goes, as far as like he was raising a brow and leaving it open, like, yeah, maybe he really
If
is
he,
doing that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was so it wasn't passive, or what it was actually it was affirming. It was in a
Yeah.
very affirming tone. It's like, I think you're on to something,
Or
actually.
at least saying, it could be like, it may
Yeah,
be.
you might be on to something. He's saying,
Yeah. So
basically.
I probably flooded him with messages he didn't need, and he said, got him, just to like, okay, you could be
No,
done now.
but I mean, like, you need all, but I mean, like, you might have flooded it, but it's like, they
I
need
got carried
all the
away, but
evidence.
he was nice about it. I didn't hear anything after, but I
Yeah.
will say that about a month or two later is when the concert was supposed to, like, I remember I got ready. I met my friend Kim, and she was driving us to San Francisco. And approximately about an hour before the concert was supposed to start, I was alerted, or by another person, that the concert was canceled. And so we drove up. I think we arrived around 8 p.m. when the concert was supposed to begin, and it was canceled, and it was like publicly noted. Even Daily Mail has a article about the last minute concert cancellation. So, and I thought that was weird. And the reason was that he fell ill and he couldn't perform, or he realized. And I'm like, wouldn't he know that during the day though? Like, why do that 1 hour before the concert?
Yeah, no. And no, that's a load of nonsense. That is not announced on the same time or the same day, just uh, just shortly before that. Because I mean, and I can affirm that because when I booked, yeah, Celeste and I are in a band together, Moldavite. We'll link that in someplace here later on. And when I received the email for the gig for our Whiskey a Go Go gig, it was announced weeks, if not months, after that. The headliner, which who was going to be Jack Russell and the Great White, it was weeks, if not months, prior to the performance. It wasn't
Oh, that's when he fell ill, but he had a terminal illness. But I think in this case, it was supposedly like a
well,
bad cold or flu.
but nobody knew back then that it was a terminal illness. Like
Right.
they
They just knew
just
that
said,
he was sick and yeah.
yeah, they just said that he was sick and he wasn't going to be making it to the concert. And that was weeks.
Right.
That was weeks at before,
And
not
he's no longer a big celebrity. He used to be. Yeah, he was in Great White back in the and
yeah,
back in the day he was big, but not he
but
wasn't, you know.
what
Well,
I'm saying,
anyway, so that
what I'm
happened and
saying, but
approximately at
yeah,
8
but
p.m.
all right.
that same night when I was on the car with Kim, I get a message from Gordon and it was named him and it was through Facebook. I got a message at 8 p.m. when the concert was supposed to start. And in it, he just wrote thanks. And I was like, I was kind of stunned, and I went to respond and I was blocked. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, what was that about?
And it's also the timing of it all.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's the timing of it. So
Mhm.
you were not sure if that happened. You
But
make the
it's
report.
interesting. Yeah.
You make the report to the you make the report to the police, the local police.
Mhm.
They do this investigation, and not that much later, you get a message saying thanks.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
So
And I was blocked after I couldn't even say anything more. And I'm like, wow, this is bizarre. And the concert was canceled like an hour before.
yeah.
And it turns out, I guess he was in South America or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but he couldn't, like, he had to perform or he had to cancel a slew of shows after that for, I think, a week or two. And I think it was like something like under doctor's orders. He's, sick and, um, he's still gonna redo his shows, so keep your tickets if you want it. I think that
But
it was optional, but yeah.
but I don't think it was like, I think that by the looks and sounds of all of that, that actually sounds like an excuse. It wasn't a legit illness. Like he was actually making an excuse because he sends you that after he was investigated.
Well, we
And
don't know if he was investigated. I can't prove that.
maybe
I have
not
no
investigated,
knowledge.
but it seems like questioned. He was at least questioned.
Maybe. I remember Sting Digest posted something about him being questioned about something. It wasn't in regards to me, but I remember like commenting something and one of them, like, I don't know it. I don't know. I think I got a response from them. They didn't say anything, but that was weird. Um So who knows?
What is Sting Digest? What is that?
So
Just for
that's
this.
a fan page. I mean, they say they're just a fan account that they post stuff in real time apparently, but and apparently they have no affiliation with the artist. They make that very clear on their page, but it's strictly dedicated to him and his music and his, lives and whereabouts and news and all that stuff. And I've followed it, but they, I remember when people were making strong, comments like, hey, like I was contacted by, these private stings and all this stuff. Like they would say like, oh well, like don't talk to those, but they did make some disclaimers. I will give them that, but however, the kind of disclaimers they made were really insulting to the fans, because they would post that they would say incredulous fans are falling for these fake accounts, and da 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 da, but these gullible fans that are falling for it, these basically calling them stupid. And which is kind of a weird thing to say. It's one thing to put something out there like, okay, just be careful, but at the same time, they themselves say they have no affiliation with him, yet they seem to know a lot about him, so that's kind of weird. um but and I remember there was actually a couple years, if they see my name or recognize my name even liking a post, they will block me from their page. That's happened multiple times with them, and it's because I've made a big stink about it, obviously. And I've called
What?
them out too on just how they treat people, because they're rude. Obviously, they're very rude, very insulting. And it's so bizarre. Like I don't believe them, because I remember there was one time, and I remember because I was really jealous. There was a beautiful Russian blonde. I think, you know, this was a few years back, but I think Sting took a photo next to her, and in Monaco or Italy or something, and and of course you see this look on his face. He's like flustered and blushing, and somebody commented, well, where's Trudy? And Sting Digest themselves said, we didn't see her there. And and they also said she's just some escort. We didn't see Trudy there, meaning she wasn't there. And I thought, okay, and it's like, okay, well, on one hand, they're telling people that they have no affiliation with him personally, yet I remember them saying that they were there. And I've also seen photos of them on tour with them during sound check or before the concert was starting, when they were getting ready and with the band, the meaning the administration, those who handle the page. So I know they're full of shit. I just know it. I feel that. I've seen it. I've witnessed it in my own way. Like I have documentation of that, or at least a memory of that. Um, but so I know that that's wrong. So I just think it's weird and sus that they react that way, and that they reacted so badly to me. I mean, yes, I did get a little crazy, so I can give them that. Um, Incidentally, it's funny because just a few days ago, I think, from his blue check account, Sting from his official page. He posted some story up, or whoever handles his page did, and I went to click on it, and it just glitched me out, like, I couldn't see the story, and I thought maybe there's something wrong with my phone, like some technical difficulty, so I looked at other stories, and I noticed that I could see those stories just fine, so I discovered that you could block somebody from seeing your story, and I wasn't aware of this, I mean, but, so you're not blocking them from your page, but you're limiting them, but you can limit them from looking at your stories, and there's several steps to it, so I'm like, "Okay, he blocked me. He absolutely blocked me from being able to view his story, so that's interesting." Like,
Yeah.
he's absolutely aware of me. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the concert we went to, because they did actually end up doing that concert, but it was like a couple weeks later or something, like 2 or 3 weeks later, and that's when you were with me.
I was very skeptical of it. I wasn't very skeptical of it, but it was like I was kind of like saying, um, anything is possible, but it's kind of far fetched. Like
Yeah, I
I was,
remember at the time you're like, "Jen, I don't know, like, I feel for you, that sucks that this happened, but
uh,
I really doubt."
Celeste, Celeste.
Yeah, yeah, Celeste.
Yeah. Um,
But
but
then you went
continue.
with me. Okay, so we went there, and I got dressed up and you got dressed up, we went there, and um it was at the Masonic in San Francisco, and the Masonic is not a huge venue. It's a nice venue. It's beautiful. It's classy, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's not like going to the Shoreline or the amphitheater or something, or a stadium.
yeah.
It's so so you and I, as you remember, we were on the floor.
Yes, we were
We
like,
were dead center.
yeah.
And of course, I was nervous, and I think the reason why I went was because I wanted some kind of confirmation or answers. I just wanted to see if anything would happen, or
Like if
any.
there was any merit
Yeah, I
to
want to
what you
see
went
if
to,
there's
your
something to all this, because I was just in that haze, that smoke and mirrors thing going on, and so we were in the center, and I guess, then they come out and they started playing, and Shaggy, was normal. Like, I didn't notice anything with him. He was just doing his thing. But with Sting, like, I I remember being nervous in the very beginning, so it was hard to look at him. But I did, I looked at him, but I noticed throughout that whole show, like, he looked everywhere around the room but where we were.
and I can
Yeah,
attest to that because I do
he was
remember
like avoiding
seeing,
that area.
because I do remember the first like one to three songs. I forget how many, but it was
Hmm.
very short.
Yeah.
The first like 5 to 20 minutes of the show, I saw, him, dead center myself. He was facing dead center, like 90 degree, right in front of everyone. And
Hmm.
then I see some other musician, like a kind of like, even though he was wearing shades, he was just like staring at that in a very puzzled, like, is that kind of like who I think think it is, and
There
and, and
was I remember Dominic. I'm aware of who Dominic is, and he
I
was like he was
was
looking
he like the
right at
tall,
me.
curly? Yeah, that's what I'm
No, he
saying.
didn't have curly hair. He
Or
was it was the
I don't know.
guitar player. Like Shaggy was just doing his thing. I didn't really notice anything weird
But
there.
I do remember some musician was looking
That was
was
Dom,
look yeah,
the guitar player.
I was tracing his eyes.
Yeah.
I really was tracing his eyes, and it's like, cuz he was, it wasn't like a fun sort of thing. It was just like his face was you kind of like puzzled and is like curious, as if like, is that who I think it is, sort of thing.
Yep.
And yeah, tone. And I'm just like saying, I was just tracing his eyes, or his, where his head was, and it was towards you. And then ever since Steen caught wind of her presence, he was facing center, just not facing dead center. And we've got camera footage of this from this. So here's the stage. Before this was him and how he was standing. All right. This
Hmm.
is straight 90-degree. But after that, he was always 45 degrees. He was always looking, going, he was
He was
standing
looking
in
up,
the center.
down, over
He,
there. Yeah.
yeah, he was in the center, standing in the center, but he was standing in a 45-degree angle on both
Hmm.
ways.
Yeah.
Just like
And
totally
his energy
blocking
was weird,
the dead
huh?
center.
Like he seemed like a shrinking violet. Like, I mean, he still went on with the
I
show.
wouldn't say shrinking violet, but it was whatever the vibes were going, it just died right then.
Like
Just
he
something
didn't,
felt off.
like he was nervous. He seemed like almost like
Nervous, or it was either nervous or just anxious, or, and not in a good way, stressed.
yeah,
And it was just it was just it was I don't know exactly what it was, but it was not, it wasn't uplifting. It was dull. Something felt
yeah.
flat.
Right. I remember I
Like
sensed it too. Like I didn't know how much of it was me in my imagination and just because I was feeling XYZ, but the fact that you pointed it out too as someone who was coming in from the outside looking in. I mean, you heard about my story, but you didn't know firsthand because obviously you weren't
no,
during all
and
that.
I wasn't around during all of that, and plus I was like saying, okay, this
And you were
again, this is,
skeptical, which is normal. Yeah.
but it's like, I wasn't in denial though. I was skeptical, but I'm like saying, I want to at least, like I said earlier, and a few minutes ago, I want to tag along to see if there's anything to this.
Mhm.
And just it ended up being, I was convinced. I wasn't convinced the first like 20 minutes, but then when I started reading his body language and seeing all this stuff, I and just like feeling the exuberance, just fucking just like go from high to just like, oh, the exuberance and like the excitement, it's like the, and just all like the high vibe energy just went flat as
Right.
soon after the first 10 minutes. Like, when I caught Dominic staring at you and I was tracing his eyes, I knew something was off.
Right. And I pointed the Dominic staring at me thing there, and I didn't take it like,
He
oh,
was staring at you for a good 5 to 10 minutes straight. Maybe
yeah.
not that long, but just like it felt like that. It like I would say 2 to 4 minutes of just
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't, and I told other people and they're just like, "Oh, maybe he just thinks you're cute or something." And I'm like, "No, it wasn't
oh
flirting."
get the fuck out of here. It's like seriously, you seriously don't know how to read body language or facial
Yeah, even my
language
friend Lauren,
whatsoever.
saw the videos that I had at the time, and he saw it in the video too, and he said, "Yeah, he's looking at you like he recognized you." And where that he's kind of like, "Is that somebody I know or somebody I recognize?" It's not flirtatious like, "Hey, let's go
No,
later, baby." It
no,
wasn't
it
like
was a
that.
very, is that who I think it is?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Mhm.
You can and by the sounds of it, Lauren was saw caught exactly what you and I did.
Right. Lauren was still skeptical because, it's hard for us normal people to imagine somebody in his position doing anything like that. Like, why would he do that? That's a great question. Like, I would have never believed it either if you told me about it. It's like,
It's
wealthy, he's this and that, and why would he even do such a thing? The guy has
it
everything.
well, yeah, it's very,
Yeah.
it's not logical. It's and
No. And there
in
are
many
scammers online. There are
and there
real scammers and imposters.
and
No
I would,
doubt about it. Yeah.
yeah, we're not saying that. However, I mean, if you were legitimately scammed, in my opinion, he would have just done his fucking show, given you a smile or two, or at least in the sense of direction, in your sense of direction, and he wouldn't have given a shit. He would
Right.
have just like said, "Yeah, thanks for having me on, everybody."
Yeah.
Yeah,
He would have just been
thank you for
normal.
showing up. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
have been doing it. It wouldn't have gotten that weird, or the vibes and the energies would not have changed. The
No,
mood would not have changed
not
one
at all.
bit.
Hmm.
Um, well, they would have, but they would have been constantly like, "Oh, I can't wait for the next song," or like when
Hmm.
and and all that stuff. But it was just dull. It was a
Yeah.
dull feeling.
Yeah.
It was it almost had a feeling like it went from, "Oh, this is interesting, I'm kind of enjoying this," to like, when's the last song? When's this gonna end?
Yeah. I know.
It's
I was
just,
so It was bizarre for me because I felt all
yeah, it
that
was
stuff.
awkward.
And yeah.
So no, I
And
can attest to this.
I was also sad, like, what, if he recognized me, why didn't like he invite me back there? And I know he couldn't have done it in that situation, but why didn't he like hint at something? Or I guess a part of me was kind of hoping for that, but that didn't happen. Who knows,
Well,
maybe there's
it all it
behind
all
there or
well, I
something,
mean,
I don't know.
it all comes back to what happened before the concert.
I think so. Yeah.
Like, I don't I think I think he knew about or heard about you ahead of time, because I don't know, something. I think they found out about you through either the police, or or uh or something, or someone else. but
maybe.
but
Well,
but
I
I
know I
don't.
used to follow his fan accounts, and I remember posting that I was going to be there, and I don't know if he's on there at all. Like, I have no idea anymore, obviously. I mean, I used to believe he was, but who knows. But and so I thought, well, maybe he knows because of that. But yeah. Yeah, that's speculative. Like, I can't confirm that, but
No, but
yeah,
it's
but
still very sus.
yeah. Yeah, it is. And I don't know. It's like, I don't know why he couldn't just, I mean, if he really is innocent and he knows all these people got, because I remember even speaking to whoever um, operates Police Excommunicated. Like, I remember messaging them once about it, and they, he was saying, oh, no, Sting wouldn't contact you, or or ask for pictures or do this or that. And, and he's not getting a divorce because that's one of the things I was told, that he's getting a divorce. I guess that's why
Oh,
things had a green light there. And yes, there was a lot of love bombing and a lot of like insane things like, I want to die in your arms and all this stuff, just
oh, jeez, sounds a little corny. Not gonna
yeah.
lie.
But at the time it was just like, oh my God. I was like a teenage girl all over again. But no, but he love bombed the hell out of me, just like I'm sure he did, or whoever it was did to a lot of people. And and it just sucks. I mean, it just hurts, um and you know um and yeah, it took a long time, to try to convince myself, like, yeah, this was not a legitimate thing. We don't know if it was him behind it or not, but we just know that whoever it was, he was full of shit. Him or not him, he was full of shit,
He was an
and that,
enabler.
yeah.
Anybody who's watched this, whether if it's in the chat, whether if it's in the chat or in the comments section, leave at least in the comments section what you honestly believe. And you can even call it insane. We understand that it's insane, or it sounds like that. But
Yeah.
no, and I'm not saying that in a condescending manner. I'm just saying that like
Yeah.
it doesn't sound. But if you have it as an input, yeah, let us know what you think in the comment section. If you have something inside if you have any other stories that are similar to this, I mean, like, yeah, we'd love to hear it from you.
Yeah, it doesn't have to
I
be
can,
fun, but
but the thing is that I can attest to everything that she's saying. I was there.
well, what's
Yeah,
odd too is, if I think about a year or two, or no, it was probably about 3 years after that time, and it was just after the pandemic. It was yeah, it was after 2020, so it was 2021. Get this um I get this message on an older Instagram account I had, a previous Instagram account I used to have. There was somebody by the name who used the user's name Goddess or Delta Venus, and they didn't have a photo. I mean, they did have one, but it was like a generic photo. I couldn't see a face or anything, but
it looked like those like
like a painting or something. Yeah.
it was like, well, it was like one of those like the that silhouette
Yeah.
preset that you don't when you don't have a photo to post.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was one of those.
So, yeah, this person reached out to me out of the blue, and I don't know, for some reason I accepted it. They said something I guess they said something underhanded, and it was meant to be an insult, but I wasn't sure not if it was actually an insult. I think I kind of knew it, but they were being kind of like chummy. But I don't know. I just had a feeling about it for some reason. Normally I don't take to things like that, but there's just something I sensed from it for some reason. So I accepted it. And this person just, I did communicate with them, and then this person came down on me hard, and they were looking at all my stories, and they were just, it was just a barrage of insults after another. But one thing I'm just like, who is this person? And one thing they told me was that the reason they found me was because they encountered one of my videos or something on their feed, and and they said that we have a friend in common. And she didn't tell me who this friend was, but she started going off and saying how she can't believe he would ever entertain me, or and how disappointed she would be if he ever dated me. And I said, well, I'm not dating anybody. But she insisted that he followed me, and anyway, she was just going off, and I said, well, I'm not dating anyone. I did have an odd experience, but I doubt it's about that, like regarding that. Like, that would be really a shocker if it is. But, because I'm a pretty quiet person. I'm not a very popular person in my life. It's not like I'm the life of the party wherever I go, and I have all these friends and acquaintances that invite me to parties, and I'm dating different people and living the life. I'm not one of those people. Like, I'm pretty quiet and low key. I even my job, is just a very like one-on-one. I work on people, and that's just kind of how it is. Like, you know, so it didn't really make sense to me. I'm like, I don't know anybody in my life who would be doing this, but I ask questions, and I try to confirm. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not dating anybody. I have no interest in dating anyone. Like, are you sure you have the right person? And but she insisted it's me, but she would not tell me who she is. She'd not tell me who he is. She left that information out, but she, started going on about the politics and this and that. So, there was that going on, and she, and she was talking about, she referred to him as the narcissist. And yeah, so that got weird. But she was just really like up my ass, like a lot, like where it was almost like a weird obsession. And but yet she would never relay like anything even about her. But it's just, I had this feeling in my gut that this was not a normal troll, that this person, whoever it is, had a vendetta against me. And for some reason, they were really threatened by me. And I didn't really know why. Because it's not like I'm like on top of the world or anything. So it was just so weird. And it just felt like whoever it is was not your normal everyday person. I knew I wasn't. Um, and it did cross my mind, could this be his wife? Like, again, I can't prove that, but it was just suspicious. Because I will come clean, I have sent her multiple messages and went off on her during this whole process. And I
Hmm.
was mean. I said some mean stuff. I was rude. I was vindictive. It got ugly. I will confess to that. So, who knows? Maybe she just decided to get back at me from an Elias account. But she did tell me that she made an incognito account to see if the narcissist was lying to her because she wanted to know if he was telling her the truth. Um, because one thing that narcissists are good at is making you believe that you're not seeing what you're seeing.
Gaslighting.
Yes. And I couldn't confirm anything because I didn't know who it was about. Obviously, like I can't help you unless you give me more answers. Like I don't know what to say. But even when I told her, like, hey, don't worry about it. I'm not dating anyone. I'm not interested. Like she was still up my ass. She was still on me. She was still this and that. So I'm like, and it was from the Elias account. So I just thought that was weird. I'm like, could it be her? I always had that question in the back of my mind because it's a little bit odd. Like it's hard to believe, I know, but given what I went through, it's just I can't help but wonder. I could be proven wrong, yes, and if I do, I stand corrected. But it's just odd. It's just odd.
A little too odd.
Yeah.
I actually have my own version of that. I mean, it was speculation
Mhm.
initially, but the more I started to dig into it and engage, uh, it did come across as her, as as his significant other. I want
Mhm.
to touch on that later, but I kind of want to. This video might get flagged here, or we might get censored here. Uh, but I do want to touch on this. YouTube. This is public on your freaking here. This is public on your platform. All right, and this is a news thing. So let's just get understand that this action may not be out of the ordinary, okay? Especially since back then this was alleged. Here this is kind of alleged, but you're with kind of, but it's starting to unfold. But let's check something out here because he was accused of something interesting. If you want to know what I'm saying here.
Begin this hour with some shocking accusations of sexual assault against a rock icon legend that allegedly happened decades ago. A woman identified only as Jane Doe has filed a civil lawsuit claiming that Sting raped her back in 1979 when she was just 15 years old. Now, Sting's real name is Gordon Sumner. Him and two of his band members.
By the way, again, YouTube, don't knock us down. This is on your platform. Take this shit down if you don't want it to be reviewed. This is
of the police, Andy Summers and Stuart Copeland, are named in this lawsuit. The woman says she met Sting at a record store promotional event in Scottsdale, Arizona, May 14th, 1979. She also says she went to the band's concert later, and when Sting saw her, he asked her to sit on his lap while the opening act was performing. Now, according to the lawsuit, after the concert, Sting invited this 15-year-old girl to a house party in Phoenix where he kissed her and touched her genitals. She says after the party, she thought they were taking her back to the concert venue, but they drove to the band's hotel across the street. And that's where she says Sting raped her. According to the court documents, Jane Doe says she told Sting at least 2 times that she was 15 years old. Joining me now, Court TV special contributor Ashley Banfield, who is taking a look at this lawsuit today. This is shocking.
It is. No matter who you are or how old you are, I think it's always kind of astounding when you hear an allegation like this against an icon. I mean, Sting is an icon. Vinny, when I first saw this, I was sort of beamed back to 1979 because that was my very first concert. And it was this tour, the 1979 tour with the band XTC as the warm-up band. And so I was so stunned. I started going back in time and looking through sort of all the concert dates. 1978 was Outlandos d'Amour, their debut album. 1979, this particular tour that's being alleged is Regata de Blanc. And then Zenyatta Mondatta was the next year at 1980. They were spitting out albums one a year for about 5 years straight and touring all around the world. So maybe it's not surprising when Sting has responded saying, I have no idea who this person is, and I never met this person. But I think what's really significant in this lawsuit is the detail. Vinny, there is so much detail about what this woman in her late 40s, back then 15-year-old girl, says she remembers from, not only the record store where she went to an event, which, by the way, there is video of one of the band members, Stuart Copeland, who was the drummer, was actually videotaping and taking photographs all throughout these tours and documenting them, and actually even had an unusual little movie that he released called The Police Inside Out, Everyone Stares, by Stuart Copeland. Terrible quality, but you can certainly make out a lot of the different places they were. And in that movie is actually the record store stop. She says she's in that video. She also says that there were videos taken of her and photographs taken of her later at the concert, at a backyard house party after the concert, and then at the hotel room where she alleges this incident happens. Now, whatever you say about an incident that's 4 decades old, she does say in this lawsuit that she's 15 and you cannot consent, no matter whether you do or don't. You can't consent if you're a child. Sting at the time was 27 years old of this alleged incident. So I want to just play for you a couple of things that I think are sort of significant. First and foremost, I spoke with Monica Lindstrom, who is a civil attorney. She's also a radio host at KTAR Radio in Phoenix, Arizona. And Phoenix is the jurisdiction where this federal civil suit has been launched. And you're probably wondering, why so long? Why would somebody wait more than 4 decades? Well, because Arizona passed a bill not that long ago, actually saying, we want children of child sexual assault who lost their 2 years of statute of limitations to file a civil action to have a short-term do-over. But this very short window of opportunity for these victims will end December 30th, 2020. Check your watch. That's a month from now. So maybe that will answer people who are questioning this as to the timing. And I talked to Monica.
By the way, this video, so I'm guessing that they said 2020. This video is just was posted not that much after the incident that you're talking about.
I mean, it wasn't, in my case, it wasn't that.
No. I understand that. I understand that. However, if I recall correctly, wasn't there also an article writing about how he went to this how he is kind of known to do this?
Oh yeah, there was
I'm trying
at Admiral in Chicago who met him, and she did say that I guess there was some blonde stripper he was interested in, so he went to the back of the room with her, and she, it was just one of those privatized like lap dances. But I guess, according to this girl, she told this other girl who wrote the article about her story that how he pulled her down on, like, literally on his lap and was like, rubbing her, like,
I was trying to look. I was trying to look for that article. There is an article that talks about this. So the more
and that was 2013 or something. I think it was around that time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that even though this is, we won't watch the rest of this. What I am saying is that with these actions like this, And with your story, along with that little clip that we just showed, I'm not going to play the whole video, and that story that you and I know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It does raise an eyebrow that it kind of like confirms, yes, like the more you do this, the more he does very sneaky shit behind. He doesn't do it like blatantly.
No.
Like there's a whole layer. There are layers to this,
Yeah.
and but who is the guy ultimately who enables this kind of stuff? It is him.
Yeah.
I hilariously, I'm gonna wiggle my little.
Well, even with, I mean, most celebrities, if they know someone's impersonating them online, they'll say something like, hey, be careful. Like, I only have one account. This is my only page. Like,
Oh, Billy Idol does that
yeah,
all the time. I've
yeah,
seen everybody that I know. I mean, like even on our Moldova, I even
right,
say no. This is our only thing.
right.
Just wherever. I've seen multiple people do it. Billy Idol, Johnny Rotten, Tim Pool.
Mm-hmm.
They say that this, if it is, they do say that they make a disclaimer saying this is my only channel. This is my only account. If
Mm-hmm.
anyone else, everyone else is an imposter,
You're right.
and he did not
And I would never message
disclaim
him.
that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
he never voiced that. He never voiced it. He never put it out there to alert anybody, be careful. Like, I would never message you, like, or just, this is my only account. I don't have any other account. Like, he himself never put that out there. It's like, why? Why? Especially
it
when
takes
it's just,
5 fucking seconds. It takes
yeah,
5 seconds to clear, even if it is a smoke screen, even
yeah.
if even if you are doing shady shit. If you say no, I'm not. I have here it is. You just understand. I'm not. I'm not doing anything. This is my only
Mhm.
account. You
Right,
you make disclaimers. You do whatever. You don't explain yourself, and you just say, "This is my only account."
right.
Whatever happens to you, that's on you. That don't put that shit on me. But he never did that. There was no closure. There were no just there were no disclaimers. There
Right,
wasn't anything.
right.
There was no it was just the same old boomer fucking excuse. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, it's this. Oh, he would you what kind of stupid fans would you, and Celeste is not the only one where this happened.
Mhm.
It happened to
Yeah,
multiple. It happened to multiple women.
right,
She's just one of multiple victims. Like of
right.
that.
I mean, it's fortunately it's something you can, it's it I mean, there's people going through much worse situations, obviously, and
No, I understand.
ways, but psychologically, and there's the financial aspect. With me, I wasn't, it was a ding, but it wasn't like a devastation financially. Like, it's not anything I couldn't have recovered at the time, but it was still a ding. But I think for me, what was devastating was the emotional part of it, the psychological, and just how much my head got all wrapped up in it, and how I, just was head over heels, and I was devastated. Yet, I had this attachment, and I was haunted by this idea and the idea of him. And I think that's what was really hard for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
No,
the
it.
Yeah.
It looked promising. No joke.
It was like a total dream come true. It's like because I had all these like failed things, and I had my heart broken and stuff, but and it's like, and then this comes along, and it just seems like the ultimate dream come true. And yes, I remember asking him about, well, what about your wife and stuff, because so that kind of fucked with my head. And I remember being told that they're divorcing, or that their marriage isn't what it seems, but they have to keep up appearances for the press. Yeah, for the press. And I believed it. Um so
Yeah. I honestly think that it is true what you're talking about. Not
yeah,
think,
when you
I
look at
know it is.
their body language, he doesn't, I don't know, he doesn't seem like he just seems like, maybe there's a point in time when he was really like gaga over her, but it just seems like nowadays it's like, I don't know, it's almost like he would rather be elsewhere. He'd rather be doing something else, and it's almost like it's a chore for him to deal with her. And I
No,
could be wrong,
yeah.
but that's just what I see, based on the pictures and even videos. I don't see a man who's like gaga, about his wife. It's like he's doing his duties, but he's on autopilot.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And it's sad, that sucks for her, but given what I've heard about her, and if that allegedly was her, then she's not such a nice person either.
Oh no, she actually got me glitched.
Yeah,
She got me glitched. We can talk about
might as well.
talk about
Put
that.
it all out there.
It's all no, it's up. It's up there.
Mhm.
I'll
Oop.
all right. So, believe it or not, I 1 or 2 years ago, I actually have a story about about her. And I'm surprised nobody really caught on, but that's fine. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Back when I was a little more fat. Nah, just kidding.
Yeah, I remember when that happened, because yeah, didn't you make some kind of comment like,
I actually have it. I have the evidence, I
oh, okay,
believe.
okay, you're gonna put it out there. All
Oh
right.
wait. Oh no. Uh hold on. I think yeah, I do.
I guess this is why they say never meet your heroes in real life, because you'll be disappointed. And ain't that the truth?
Not always, but more
That's
often
true.
than not, yeah.
Yeah.
You just need to be you just need to be weary of. I think it just comes from. No, that saying is not 100% true, because it depends on who it is. Is it someone who's authentic, or is it someone who's wearing a fucking mask? And
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's the latter. Very not
Yeah.
there are those rare occasions where you do meet those authentic artists or those authentic people, like who they
Johnny Rock
are.
fun, I think. I never met
Oh,
him, but
he's unapologetically himself all the time.
yeah. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Oh yeah.
Same with Billy Idol. He seems like a nice guy. And my brother.
Oh no, Billy Idol's awesome. Now if it's anybody who I really want to meet, it's him. He's
Yeah, he's
awesome.
cool.
Here, I'm actually gonna show that but because I mean no, we did it was a while ago. Come on. No. Now this is our YouTube on our YouTube channel. But fudge. Really? I didn't post it? I thought I did.
I thought you did too. I remember you did.
Did I take it down by accident? What the hell?
I don't know. I wasn't aware of it. But I remember when you posted it. Was it under
No,
Ancient Heroes
I'm on the
or was it under
Moldavite.
Moldavite?
It was under Moldavite. I remember you saying she messaged our frontman. Maybe I took it down. Damn it.
Oh, I see.
Well,
you could
whatever.
talk.
But but yeah, screw it. It's let's go back to the vlog. And yes, she's a fucking lizard monster.
Oh man. Ugh. These people are something else. I feel sorry for their kids. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I still do.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you gonna post it? Or are you gonna put out the? Wow, who knew, right?
Here I'm Yeah, I that's the. Well, I don't know if if I accidentally skipped to what happened.
Oh, did you find the video?
Not the video. It was I was talking about like a post because I do remember showing posting how
Oh, on your mobile.
oh I remember what it was. Get here, you I remember. I was elaborating on this.
Okay.
It wasn't a post. It was a it was it was a short.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What? Yeah. If you have it.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Basically, and I just basically did a video that elaborated how I basically got glitched, all for simply asking. I got glitched out of my accounts, uh, just for simply asking her, "What are your solutions?" That's all I said. That's all I said to her because she made a post of all these great female all these great female directors were robbed out of this. They were not even considered blah blah freaking blah. And all I asked was like, what are your solutions? Basically, I was telling her in a very slight way, like, do something about it, bitch. Don't just fucking sit on your ass and whine. Actually do something. You call yourself a fucking activist and all this other shit. Meanwhile, what do you do?
Yep.
You're just sitting on your ass bitching about it.
Yep.
Do something about it. You start your own organization. Start you've got your husband has all of the contacts. He has all the contacts for that shit to launch.
Yeah. Totally.
You just you're meaning to tell me you can't start your own fucking film foundation that or film agency that promotes like a female that promotes like female work, like female directors, female writers and shit?
Mm-hmm.
No, she was just bitching about it and I got glitched out of my account for like two whole I don't know if it was 2 whole days, but I was glitched out of my account, for a long while.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because I remember you
And
got
it was and
things
she
from
said,
her.
she sent she it was her blue check mark. It was her blue check mark
Trudy Styler.
who sent me a message request,
Yep.
and I freaked the F out. I even remember telling you, and I sent you screenshots that that it's her.
Yeah.
Like, and I started engaging, and then, but then, like, as soon as I started getting inside and accepting the request, I I was glitched out of my account. I thought I was hacked or something.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Actually, yeah, when you can't get back on your account after, yeah, yeah, it sounds like a hack to me.
Yeah. No, she hacked me. So every now and then,
You got back on and you actually messaged her
yeah, I did. It's like
and she read it.
she reads my stuff. She
Yeah,
does.
it was
She,
marked seen, so she read it.
yeah. No, she's I am not scared of I'm not scared of her. And let me tell you this. I'm saying this in confidence. I am not scared of anybody at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, you're just one of us, just with just a few more
Million
followers,
dollars.
millions of followers. But at the end of the day, you're still a fucking human being. Come on,
Yep, of course.
you're still a person.
Yep.
You're not above or below me. Maybe in social status, sure, but like in spiritual and but in like
In the
spiritual
eyes of God, no.
no, in the eyes of God, no, you're not above me, and I'm not above you either.
Right.
Like, so yeah, the you people, yeah, because in the comments section, say what you will, but if but it's all true. I mean, like, I wasn't hesitant, but I can't say it enough. I was skeptical myself, but the further and further we dug and engaged, the more they yeah, the more masks came off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm persuaded, yeah, that this is a true, and I you know, you guys can like, share, and subscribe if please do. If you want, if you do have any if you have any interesting stories regarding something like this, um then we'd love to have you on, or even if it's something else, just like we'd
Yeah.
love to
Doesn't
hear
have
your story.
like this. Just
Yeah,
an extraordinary story, or whatever it is that, if you just need to get something off your chest, and you don't
you're
have
you're not too
another place.
crazy. Yeah, sorry. Oh, continue. I
Oh no, I'm
interrupted.
just gonna say, if you don't have any other place where you feel you can do that, because that's one of the things that disappointed me about Wonder Twins. And I loved Wonder Twins, and I loved Light Warrior Network, I really did. But there's so many times when I wanted to share this stuff, or at least a part of it, with them, and I was hoping that they would actually possibly even look at it, and because they did their tarot readings, but they did not bother. I guess it wasn't important enough for them, and I accept that. That's fine. But I was hoping that they would have at least looked into it, or at least looked into, like, the only thing that she did of him, and I wasn't present for it, was that she said she pulled cards, to asking if he was part of the dark deep cult, and it turns out he's not, at least her card says he's good. So that's the only thing that they did say about him. But I remember wanting to know something for myself, but that was just, I guess I wasn't cool enough for them.
I will make that. I will do that card reading for free. Just
Aw.
for shits and giggles. It's a, what exactly did you ask?
Well, one of them wasn't. I think it was during.
And I don't do readings for free, everybody. This
Right,
but
right.
this is just an exception. So don't get that in your head.
I guess I didn't want to. I didn't want to come on and say like, oh, did he scam me himself? And was it, I didn't want to do all that, but I did want to, I remember there's a thing where they were trying to find out who was a transgender. And I guess I was like,
Big Mike.
I was wondering if, yeah, I was wondering if Trudy actually was trans because she's so like is such an advocate for it. I thought maybe she was, but they didn't cover that, which is fine. And
I'll cover that. That sounds kind of funny.
I do think she's a woman though. She kind of looks tranny because of all the plastic surgery, kind of made her face look a little weird, but I do think she's a female, like a born female.
Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. The Tower. So maybe she was something, because I mean, like the Tower's things destroying.
Well, she did have an accident as a kid too, like
okay,
accident. Yeah.
2 of Wands, 6 of Wands, 8 of Swords,
and
Judgment. I mean, it's possible. Let's just say.
Okay, like yeah, obviously.
Plus, I mean, we also had that huge song that was a meme song for decades, and it was a meme before memes were even a thing. Dude looks like a lady.
Yeah.
Dude looks like a lady. Dude looks like a lady.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, we could ask if Delta Venus was actually her.
I'll do we'll do one card, a oneer.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a pile that fell off, and the bottom card is the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah.
Oh my God, that's a yes. Wow. So is Sting ripping off his fans?
Queen of Wands.
It's not fun, but yeah. Moonlighting and ripping them off.
Queen of Wands, 6 of Cups, the Devil, the Magician, and Justice. Yes.
Whoa.
I'm not kidding. That's exactly what I got in order.
Whoa. Wow. So we're not all crazy. We're not all weird. We're not all, even if we are crazy, I mean, there is something really
you have to have, let me tell you this world is already fucking insane and crazy. So actually, if you have a little bit of craziness, you actually have some of the tools to survive in this world. You need to be a little crazy, because if you're too normal, then you're just gonna be a freaking just wage slave, and you
Yeah.
are gonna be a simp to the matrix. You don't really think for yourself. It's okay to have a little bit of craziness. It
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think you're crazy. I just think you have your own mind. You have control of your own
Yeah,
mind.
but I do. I can see why people might think I am though, because I do have psychological stuff, issues and just behavioral stuff that I know I need to work on, and so I'm aware of that.
But that's that's I don't know. I don't think that makes you crazy. A lot of people, more often than not, have issues.
Right.
Like, have that kind of stuff going on. If
Yeah.
anything, that's they're just not as vocal about it. Let's just say.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
So no, I that's just it's a lot more in common than a lot of people would than most people would prefer Yuka to admit.
Right.
So there's no so anything that so what you're talking about, you shouldn't be ashamed of that.
Thank you.
Now you're wonderful.
And thank you so much for the readings. Yeah, I mean, I think at some point we knew that something was definitely sus with this whole thing, but even the cards confirmed it.
Yes. Ooh, well, what'd you think of this evening?
Wow, it's been 2 hours. I can't believe that kind of time went by. I didn't think it would be. I thought I would just kind of talk about it and it would probably be no more than a half hour, maybe 45 minutes at the most, but we covered a
No,
lot.
no, we covered a lot with so little, but it's because you elaborated on a lot of things.
Yeah, well, it was a lengthy thing that went on for me, at least for a long time. And I was always kind of in that place that, is it, isn't, and I always, and yeah, I'll be real, I got attached and it was hard for me, it really was. And he's a good looking man. He really is, even at the ripe old age of 73. He's not a bad looking guy. Um,
Yeah, God, guys in like cancer age.
Yeah, because most people his age don't look like him, so, and plus him being who he is,
Not that I wish that upon him. I don't wish that upon him. No,
right. Yeah.
Yuka,
Yeah.
I don't wish that. I don't, Yuka.
Yeah. Even if he, whether he deserves it or not is, whatever, but I
That's
don't
up.
wish.
That's up to the man above.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that. But no, but a lot of people. I think my grandfather, my dad's dad, died in his mid 70s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he was like 75. I thought, and I thought back then 75 was old,
Like, yeah. And
but
it is
now,
up there. It is pretty old, it is when, I mean, geez, I just turned, I'll just say it. I turned 50, but it's like I'm feeling it now. I mean, I didn't really feel it when I turned 40. I still felt pretty good and peppy and young and looked it and everything. But man, at 50, it's like, okay, yeah, you could complain when you're 50, it's just, because, things start to happen, at some point. It does. It's unfortunate, but, it's life. Yeah.
yeah. Well, you're doing wonderfully.
And so are you. And thank you so much for this time and this given me this platform to talk about this stuff, because I really had nowhere else to talk about it. Because even if I were to go to a therapist, they're not going to believe it. I remember going to this one lady who, I guess she's a hypnotist or a hypnosis, and I talked to her about it, and she was blaming me, like, how could you think that someone like him would do that and fall for that, and how many weirdos are online, and da 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 da. Like, she just made me feel like shit. She was this Russian woman, and it was just like, I just felt like I couldn't ever get validated no matter where I went, because no one would take it seriously, and they would all just think I'm bonkers. And
Well, you ain't. I witnessed it myself, so I
thank
can attest to what you're saying.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Well, I guess we both probably got to eat. It's probably dinner time now. And
I eat before.
oh, you do?
Because
That's good.
I
That's smart. Yeah.
be, because well, also I'm also back to my intermittent fasting,
Good
so
for you.
I only have I have a cutoff time. I don't eat much during the
Oh,
day, to be
that's
honest.
smart. I need to be doing that too, especially right
Mine is from noon to 6, so I can have like a brunch or a lunch. I just have lunch and dinner basically,
now.
and
Oh,
then
that's
that's
yeah.
it.
I
And
don't eat.
and
Not
the
like I'm continually eating throughout the day. Like, I have one meal
no,
in the morning and then
no,
have it at night, or just or early evening usually. But yeah.
I don't even eat I don't even eat 3 times a week. I eat like twice actually, and
Uh,
it's
so you
predominantly because of keto. It's because of keto I
per
do.
day?
Huh?
Did you say week or a day?
I eat once or twice a day.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I was just so you're only eating twice a week.
There are some people who do that, who are that
Yeah.
savage with their
Oh, there's
fasting.
people
Yeah,
that
at
spend like a week or at least a day. They fast for a whole day. Yeah, and
yeah,
they swear
yeah.
by it. And I, maybe, hey, I need to probably start doing that myself, especially.
Well,
Of
I
course,
do.
right now, because of the bone. I'm still, my bone's still healing and repairing, so I do need more calories because of that. But
Well,
yeah.
I have epilepsy, so I have to.
Oh yeah.
So I have to. I can't do something like really, really drastic, such as like outright 48 hours, or let
No.
alone 24-hour fast.
Uh-uh.
I always need to have something in my system, and that's why I do intermittent. And it's a great cutoff time, and plus all I do is just eat a lot of
Mm-hmm.
proteins, and I work out a little bit. If I get hungry, I just drink some tea or some water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just yeah. It's not it's not that it's not as hard as it's good. It's a good thing for me. I actually like doing it. To be honest.
Run on. Well, I'm rooting for you. That's great.
I'm rooting for you too. Everyone's rooting for you.
Everyone's rooting for you. Oh, best
All right.
air hugs.
Well,
And hopefully I'll get to see you sooner than later. I'm hoping in 2 weeks that I can live life again, hang out again, and have, work again and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah. I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call when we hang it up. When we hang it up right now.
Hang it up. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in if you did and listening to all this craziness. And I appreciate you. Lots of love and good vibes.
All right. You have a
Yeah.
wonderful day, everybody. Like, comment, share, and subscribe now.